Right, I don't always read the Bristol Post. I do sometimes. Um, Mostly read about it when the Brexit shit was going on. And obviously I'm a Brexiteer myself, so their anti-Brexit stance doesn't apply to me. So anyway, doesn't really do me any favours apart from the Remainers who live in Bristol. But yeah, just caught wind of recent controversy surrounding Greta Thunberg. She's that kid who is is for environmental reasons and all that stuff. I don't really follow her that much, and I don't really hate her very much, but I don't really like it when privileged kids acting like they know everything, telling us older folk what we can and cannot do with our lives. I don't like sanctimonious people, full stops, especially like they come from posh, privileged Scandinavian background, and they come and tell us poor folk, oh, we're fit cunts and all that. We had this shit with Brexit, and I'm local Bristolian, and well, anyway, apparently a local Bristolian has said some nasty shit about her over Facebook, about disability and all that stuff, right? I got the same disability as Greta, right? Before anyone says, oh, you don't know what it's like to be Asperger's or autism spectrum disorder and all that. I do. I grew up with it. I grew up in the 80s, 90s, noughties, and the 10s, and now the 20s. So I grew up with it for nearly 40 years. So I know one. I pretty much know the deal with autism, but people don't give a shit about your disability. I'm just going to point out, if you stand for if you're going to be on a platform, a social media platform, expect people to not like you, right? These guys who said some nasty shit to her, right? They don't deserve to have their livelihoods destroyed because they voiced their vocal opinions on this Greta bitch, alright? I call people bitches all the time in case people are like wondering, oh, is he trying to call her a bitch? Is he a misogynist? Whatever. I've been called that too, but it's bullshit. It's the internet, folks. People say weird shit to me all the time, so I don't really care. But anyway, these guys who said those things, yeah, that was stupid shit, but I don't think there should be police detention or the employee needs to be notified about it because they're just they're not committing any crimes as such. They're just voicing their disapproval of the chick. And I'm sorry, but just because she's some well-known celebrity on Twitter and all that, don't mean to say that, oh, we should waste taxpayers' money to sort out the people who just said some insulting shit about her. Get over it. People aren't gonna like you all the time, but I don't want to live in a fucking North Korea or China style of internet where everything you say and do is policed. Everything. I'm not talking about the nasty crimes there. That should be policed, obviously, like the paedophiles and all that crap, and the groomers and people doing illegal activities, of course, yeah. But it's the internet. People say nasty shit to me all the time, and what I do, delete the comments. I don't feel the need to call the police every fucking time someone insults me. I mean, if Greta Thunberg, if just because you got a disability, Greta, don't mean to say people are gonna, oh yeah, we'll make allowances. People are gonna say nasty shit about your disability, and because you're putting yourself out there, you're taking on people who may politically disagree with you. Don't put yourself out there. I say this to any autistic: if you're gonna lose your shit over it, don't put yourself out there on social media. If you can't hack it, don't post comments. Don't reveal who you are to these people on the internet because they don't know you and they don't necessarily care about you. But a lot of these people who say these things about Greta don't have a personal relationship with her, don't care about her, don't really know her. Just to say, these people who slag off these guys don't really know them either. They might say some bants and people are taking it way out of proportion, like Bristol Post. What I don't like about Bristol Post is how politically biased they are. They say that they seem to cater to the yuppies in this town, in the city. they always cater to the yuppies who aren't even born here, who got like fancy uni degrees, and not being funny, the journalists are middle class yuppies, pretty much. You know, they're pretty much middle class yuppies. I'm sorry, but you know, it's just a voice for the privileged, the Remainers, and all that, you know, all the Remainers in this city are like wanting to separate Bristol from the rest of the United Kingdom. All this nonsense. I read all these articles because it's such a Labour stronghold. It's the only Labour stronghold in the West Country. The rest of the West Country is Tory. You know, there's a Labour island around a Tory sea. You know, the West Country is pretty much Tory. Can't be bothered with all Labour crap. And not all Labour people are bad. I just don't agree with, you know, the whole pro-EU stance that they have, or or this whole soft approach to criminals and all that, you know, because they're too softy. Our local councils are too soft. Like the knife crime here, there's been a rape in Easton at 5 p.m. Some few weeks ago, and then there's been a knifing incident not far from where I live. Some black kids just stabbed another black kid over a fucking mobile phone. Apparently, it's not far from where I live. You know, stuff like this, and I just feel that the current council is incompetent. There's part of Cumberland Road that collapsed because the council didn't look into safeguarding that part of the road, and that's collapsed into the River Avon. You know, stuff like that. But they seem to be more concerned about Greta Thunberg's coming in, and you know, stuff like that. It's, you know, look, Bristol Post is pretty much a mouthpiece for Labour. It is pretty much a mouthpiece. Sorry, just got a thing. Oh, it's my friend. I'll give him a call in a minute. But yeah, I'm just going to end this. Look, I don't think it was right for Bristol Post to let's get the, they said some nasty things on the internet. Let's contact their employers or harass them. Let's call their employers to get them fired and all that. Really? How petty are you? Just because they say some shit over the internet, you know? It's not bad. I just don't get why people are so obsessed with this chick at all. I mean, I don't get it. But at the end of the day, I want to end this before I say, well, what are you making a video about? Because it's just content to me. I'm just fancy talking about it. You know, that's it. She don't bother me in my day-to-day life. I know a bit about her, but I don't really care about her or who agrees with her. And that's that. So.